The Chakras Root to Crown Oracle Deck is a tool designed to help people connect to their soul destiny. As humans live a cycle, yet as a soul, our existence is infinite. In each human life, our goal is to learn and connect to our authentic self. We seek guidance when we are repeating patterns and feel blocked from our purpose. This oracle deck breaks down a human's chakra system and uses that information as a roadmap. Each chakra contains physical, emotional, and spiritual information to navigate a clear path towards authenticity and awakening. By gathering perspective with a reading, you will gain soul-level wisdom. These insights bring depth to your spiritual journey and dissolve the blocks, unveiling your highest potential. Take the next step by selecting your layout and explore a reading today.
Happy Friday! I am really tapping in today because I have some questions, and I've done a lot of readings lately for other people, and I would like to see not only collectively what's coming through for all of us, but I have set the intention to see there's such distinct manifesting flows right now. If you're familiar with the zodiac and astrology, there's been some huge shifts in everybody's field. We've moved from an 8-year cycle, and we're starting this new 8-year cycle, and we're really trying to take what we did in the past 8 years and learn how to ground that into a foundation that's going to support us for the next 8 years. And we're about ready at the end of this month to go into a retrograde that's going to help us gain more perspective on everything that's kind of coming through in this mental reality. But in the mental field, I should say, but there's just such, it feels like there's just such huge manifesting currents moving through from crown to root, and so I just wanted some guidance as well as to tap into the collective of anybody else who decided to show up and or decides to click on this later when it gets launched to other networks. So we always ground before the reading takes place, just because this is an oracle deck that reads your chakra systems, and the chakra systems pull in different dimensional planes of reality into this one conscious existence. Is you sitting in front of the computer or wherever you are right now watching this video. And so what happens is it's not just reading your human existence, but it's reading your human, your soul, your spirit, your high self, all of these different multidimensional levels of you in this one present time, and how that energy is coming through. So it would be very helpful to just get conscious through a good circular breath, connecting in through the nose, deep breath in through the nose, and exhaling, breathing out through an open mouth, connecting fully into your channel here of awareness, breathing in through the nose and exhaling. This really helps you start to feel the body ground into this subtle vibration that moves constantly through the body. And so just continue that breath the whole time. Helps us tune into the heart space, which helps us expand into these multidimensional realities so that we can gain the most clear perspective over how this is read today. So this is a chakra reading, so it goes 1 through 7. We're going to start at the root. And the root chakra, of course, so the root chakra symbolizes here our foundation. So this is what we're growing from. And again, remember, I had kind of set the intention to understand what's happening in this manifesting flow, right, that we're all receiving and getting downloaded with right now. And so here in the foundation, my example that I always use is where, you know, if you were to pot a plant and start to try and cultivate the growth of a plant, what you do first is put soil into the pot, and then you put the plant in there there so that it can grow, right? So this is like the seeding of whatever this new energy cycle is. And so here, seeding into our foundation is the energy of transformation. And this is the energy of the solar plexus chakra, which is all about transforming this human self, right? So we come in and we're not only human, we're not only this low self, this human, which holds a part of the soul, but we're also come into the multidimensional landscape. We're connected to all time, all space, all of our existences. We're also connected to high self, which is the collective that's helping humanity move forward in the collective's best interest. And then we're connected to spirit, which is setting the tone for all of this cosmic awareness. And so here, solar plexus chakra is all about transforming this human self in this moment, in this time, to be better aligned to whatever this manifesting cycle is. So transformation is the, this card has come up a lot lately, must be because of the flow. So transformation is all about the caterpillar that turns into the butterfly, right? So we're leaving one shell of ourselves behind and we're stepping into this butterfly energy, right? So we're stepping into this more expansive energy. And so this is what's basically grounding in to the foundation of this whole reading today. So this whole reading today is being based off of this transformational energy. And so in sacral chakra, this is all about our human one-on-one connection. So you can go you and your partner, you and a brother or sister, you and mom, you and best friend, you and coworker. This is all about one-on-one interaction and relationship in this reality. And so here we step into a shadow card. So with chakras can always be hyper, chakras can be hypo, so spinning too fast, spinning too slow. They can be balanced, or they can show shadow side attributes. Shadow side attributes are things that we have patterned over and over and over and repeated. We've repeated the same, and I'm going to just use a kind of a harsh word, the same mistakes, you could say, and mistakes just meaning things that weren't aligned to our highest outcome. And so shadow side comes up, a shadow side, there's only 7 shadow cards, right, out of 78 cards. So when shadow side comes up, it really says, wait a minute, stop. There's some deep healing work that needs to happen here, and there's some wisdom that you have to gain before you can fully move forward into this new transformational energy. And so this card is coming in saying that there is shadow side attached to the sacral chakra, right? So this shadow side came up, landed in the sacral chakra place, is also representative of our sacral chakra, which again, that's a 1 in 78 card chance. So basically, shadow side of the sacral chakra is all about guilt. And so this is how we are allowing people outside of ourselves to trigger the guilt emotion within us. So the best way to start to understand the shadow or any deep-seated issues that we have that we haven't yet really fully healed within ourselves. So the best way to understand shadow is to understand the emotional trigger that happens, because emotions will get triggered as we start repeating the patterns of a deep-seated belief system that needs to be released. And so guilt is all about when we feel guilt, when we're made to feel guilty, it's because we have usually set some kind of boundary, or we've set some kind of expectation outside of ourselves. And what happens is somebody else comes and challenges that, and then we end up feeling guilty because that boundary or whatever we established, that let's just call it like an archetypal maybe pattern, or some kind of again, I keep using the word belief system, but some kind of belief or some kind of it's something that protects us, right? So we have established something outside of ourselves, rules, you know. So since we're talking about relationships, this could be rules you've placed on the relationship, expectations you've placed on the relationship. If he does this, XYZ, I'm not going to let it get any further. And so, so basically what happens with guilt is when we've set up this boundary or this line in the sand, drawn our line in the sand, and somebody moves past that, we're triggered, and then guilt is, they can usually then, because we're expressing ourselves or we're establishing, you know, you crossed that line again, I can't believe you did that. And then they'll throw it back on you. And usually through, however, manipulation is such a energy attached to the sacral chakra too. But however it plays out, you usually feel guilty about what you had established, right? This kind of line you've drawn. And so what happens is when that line's crossed, the energy blows up in your face, or the relationship comes to a head somehow, then we're triggered into this guilt sensation. And that shows that that line we had drawn wasn't in congruence with our highest wisdom. And so anytime we're triggered to feel guilt, I love using kids in the guilt explanation. So if, let's just say, because kids can make us feel guilty all the time. Like, Mom, why won't you come out and play with me? And it's like, I'm too tired, you know, just go take your brother out and play. And they're like, Mom, please, you never play with us. You never play with us. And they're triggering this guilt emotion inside of you. And you can feel guilty because you're saying, no, I don't want to play because I had a long, hard day. Yet, you know, it's not in congruence with your highest purpose in life. You had these children, you just got home, all they want to do is interact and engage with you, and you're saying no because I'm tired, yet you can find 15 to 20 minutes to go out, right? So this is the cord of connection that happens in the sacral chakra. This is the emotional trigger that can happen. People can push you through manipulation and through this guilt charge to make you see where you really weren't in alignment in the first place. And so we get triggered by guilt when we need to retrospect, look at ourselves and analyze, why am I saying no? Why am I drawing this line in the sand? And so basically guilt coming in here. So what we're doing, there's this huge manifesting current coming into everybody's reality right now. And so the first card, what we're all growing from, what this line of energy is telling us is happening, is we are manifesting currently huge shifts, huge transformations. We're all going to be losing a part of ourself. I mean, again, astrologically, we're losing an 8-year cycle, stepping into a new one. So we're losing this whole persona that we've created and stepping into a really new energy. And so this is the transformation, and the warning comes up, hey, there's some work to step into this new expression of yourself. You gotta look, there's some relationships that need healed. And anywhere moving forward where you're getting these guilt triggers, know that this is a relationship you have to analyze moving forward to say, okay, I have the person in the past that I'm letting go of established certain parameters, boundaries, rules to the relationship, and those are no longer serving me. This person in front of me is triggering me with guilt, so I have to do some self-reflective work and understand, hey, maybe this new me that I'm changing into can create new patterns, right? So if we get, and it's okay, when we get triggered by emotion, be thankful. You have to love emotion. The densest emotions to the highest frequency emotions. As humans, this is our gift. This is our divine gift to feel the full spectrum of emotion. So I'm not saying emotions are bad here. Emotions are beautiful. Emotions are the quickest way to trigger us as to what's going to be manifesting next into our physical reality. So anytime you get triggered by emotion, the one thing I want you to do is just stop and separate yourself from the emotion. As soon as you realize you're mad or angry, jealous, resentful, whatever the emotion is, stop and then ask the question, why am I feeling the emotion of guilt? And so as soon as you do that, that separates, that creates distance and gives perspective to the situation at hand that's triggering this emotion. And then you can do self-reflective work and figure out, okay, I never play with the kids. I know I'm tired. So I'm going to force myself today, and then I'm going to figure out what this pattern is that I'm repeating. Maybe I'm not eating enough at work. Maybe I'm eating the wrong stuff at work. Maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe work's no longer serving me. So you run through the perspective once you can separate yourself from the trigger of emotion. That was a lot for sacral chakra. Oh my God, here comes another one. So for authentic self, for solar plexus chakra now, we're stepping right here, we're stepping into the gut, and this is the last level of the human, the low self, the human, before we make the bridge to the high self, to the spirit, the intangible kind of energy. And so what comes through here in this solar plexus chakra, and solar plexus chakra is who you are. If you were to stand in front of a mirror naked right now and ask, like, who am I at the core, this is like what your solar plexus chakra would speak back to you, right? So this is seeing yourself clearly through the eyes of your authentic self, who you are. And so what comes up right now is there's another block, another shadow coming up. And so this is another warning. So in staying completely aligned to this, again, transformation energy that's happening, we're losing a part of ourselves that's no longer serving our path, and we're stepping into this new energy. So in this new energy, to stay in complete alignment to this authentic self, which is so important through any conscious breath you take, but even more so through a transformational flow of energy, which is what we're expressing here. There is a shadow side coming in, saying that there's healing work that needs to be done with the voice and the self-talk. So this is specifically telling you, triggering you to watch how you talk to yourself in this transformational flow of energy. So everything you are internally speaking to your authentic self is going to be creating the reality that you step into in this new transformational flow. And so this is a very important time to slow down enough in your mental center to see how you are. Your mind brings in concepts, and then your voice, when we receive a download of a concept and can see it clearly and start to engage with it, we then have this self-talk that starts to analyze this. And is this really for me? Can I do this? Am I smart enough? Am I wealthy enough to pursue this? Am I connected enough? Whatever it is, right? We start to use this self-talk to go deeper into the construct of the thought process that's downloading into our field. So here, this is coming up again as another warning, saying, hey, watch out, because all this self-talk is starting to create this manifesting flow of energy that's going to be basically triggering into your reality. So you have to be highly aware and attuned as to what kind of words you're swallowing into your system, because they're going to be what's manifesting the next steps. And if you're swallowing less than thoughts, depletion thoughts, you know, all these thoughts that take you away from the highest potential, fear-based thoughts, you will start to manifest those encounters in this new energy so that you can break through the pattern or the limiting construct that you have basically created for yourself to move through. So the next one is heart chakra. Just getting all the dark cards today. So heart chakra is the bridge from low self to high self. So this always is like kind of telling as to what it's going to take to get and connect these two energies together. And so here in heart chakra, we manifest a card that is a hyper spin, which means taking on an archetype, taking on a pattern or a role, something that is outside of ourselves, because we feel that our authentic self, who we are, who we're presenting to this, possibly isn't enough. And so in hyper spinning chakras, what happens is our chakra starts to spin bigger and bigger and bigger, and we take on almost energy from a collective, an archetypal energy from the collective, to get through whatever encounters or whatever engagements, whatever we have to do, right, in life. And so we take on kind of this role to help us get us through what we think we're not good enough for. Yet, remember, everything that comes through our channel is completely aligned to us. So this is just again, another pattern of thinking we're insufficient authentically to achieve what's been purposely downloaded to us because we have exactly what we need. So here it's about basically sacral chakra energy, which is this like obsessive, when we get into, again, we're manifesting this divine flow of energy that's creating this transformational path for us. And we'll see I have no doubt in the next few cards, we're going to see clearly kind of what's manifesting into our channel. But here it's saying anytime we get obsessive over what's coming in, our thought forms, everything up here, everything we're kind of downloading and playing with in our mental field, when we start to get obsessive over it and start to have this attachment to, again, so we get obsessive and then we start to self-talk, and then that basically translates into this it's a dysfunctional energy that's coming in. So just notice, be aware of the times when you're getting obsessive, possibly in thought forms, but then also in like feeling, if you're starting to feel nervous, if you're any emotional state, if you're starting to feel really anxious or feel fearful, know that you're in this obsessive tendency that is impeding the flow of how this transformation is supposed to work for you. So you can just say, cancel those thoughts, clear my field, align me to my highest, most loving potential. I am light, I am love, I am that I am, right? Just empowering statements if you find yourself getting obsessive. And then the throat chakra, oh my God, these are all like shadow and hyper cards so far. So throat chakra, this is a hyper, so again, taking on another role. And so this is the hyper spin of the root chakra. And so again, there's this thought process that what I've created thus far in this life isn't enough, isn't good enough to accommodate this huge transformation that's coming through. So there is this lack of, and it's fear-based, thinking that, remember, when divine gives us a download and brings this intuitive hit, this kind of purpose-filled manifesting flow, that here it's ending in transformation. This does not happen to us unless we're ready for it, unless we're aligned to it. And so here in the throat chakra, it's saying again that, and so I don't know if this is going to include speaking, I don't know if this is going to include like having to make yourself vulnerable to express, right? So this is all about expressing in physical verbs. In words, we're expressing and claiming through our words who we are, what this new energy is, right? And so here this is saying that there is a fear that what we've created thus far maybe doesn't align to what we're perceiving is this next phase of our journey. And again, just another warning, another thing to look out for. Oh my God, another one. So now we're going hypo. So hypo chakra is when we actually pull back our energy. So this is third eye center. Third eye center is all, and this is another root chakra energy. Third eye center is all about perspective. So hypo spinning third eye chakra is basically saying, I am not good enough. I am not seeing clear enough. Sorry, we have some guests coming over. So I'm not good enough. I'm not seeing clear enough. And so I'm going to pull back from my authentic energy to try and create, and so this is like anxious stuff. So what I'm seeing, so we start to see it clearly, and now it's like what I'm seeing is not, you start to distrust. Again, root chakra, which have been the last two cards, are all about trust and feeling comfortable in a flow of energy. And so here, this is a big dog, I apologize. So here it's saying that I distrust now in this big picture. Is this really manifesting? Is this really what I saw, what I dreamed, what I saw so clearly, this inspiration I had? Is this really could this really be the purpose of my path? And so here it's warning us, this pulling back, this lack, this thinking you don't have what it takes, or that this, download, this purpose that you received, this inspiration you received, that somehow it's all going to crumble, because again, we're talking root chakra, that I don't have what it takes, or am I really equipped to handle this? And again, root chakra is saying you are shifting into a totally different person that this is completely aligned to. And so of course you're not going to have the history, of course you're not going to have all the wisdom for it yet, because this is a new cultivated version of yourself. And so again, we're being asked to trust in all of this. Oh my gosh, oh my god. Okay, last card. I can't believe this. We've gotten like every hypo and hyper card. And shadow. So crown chakra is the this is the wisdom of this line of energy that we're reading. And so here, what it's saying is, in crown chakra, the full divine purpose of this flow, it's saying again another hyper energy taking on a role, but it's stepping into this energy of disconnect and it's really disassociation. And so again, another warning, like this download that you're receiving, the one thing you could do to completely block the ability to have this caterpillar to butterfly moment would be to just disassociate with it, to be indifferent to it, to have it come in almost like a dream and say, oh, that's just a dream, I could never do that. So, and this is again, if we allow ourselves to get to this point and just dismiss this energy, then we're going to be repeating a cycle and patterns for the next 8 years that's basically just going to be what our last 8 years held, but if you want to call it negative, the lessons, the encounters that came to us to help us move through our blocks and density, these things are just going to get bigger. They're going to get stronger, and it's going to be harder, right? Because every time we repeat cycles and don't accept the wisdom of this flow that's coming in, every time we repeat and go into patterns, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger until literally we are in crisis moment where we have to change and make that transformation, or we choose not to and then manifest physical illness or whatever the final potential could be. So I'm just going to ask for a message from the angels, because we've gotten so many dark cards, and it's not like it's dark, nothing's dark, but just so many hyper and shadow cards. I mean, there's only only 21 cards out of the 78 deck, and we've gotten 6 of them right here. Crazy. I don't think I've ever had a reading that's come out like this. Lots of warnings. I guess with transformation, right? When we're trying to let go of something, we have to know all the hurdles we could come up against. So, the message from the angels. Oh, thank God. So, it is an angel card. There's 7 angel cards. So, we have Archangel Shamuel who comes in. He's the archangel for the heart chakra. And so, this is exactly what we would want in this energy. And so, again, I would just start to, in your quiet time, in your meditative space, in your self-talk, ask, here's one of the dogs. Ask for the energy of Archangel Shamuel to come in to guide you, to keep you aligned to your highest and most loving path. And his message is always about vulnerability. And it's stating in this case that it's going to take a lot of vulnerability for you, stepping into an energy that is completely new, that is completely, it's new. I mean, it's something you've never experienced before, right? And in such drastic change, where we are literally dropping an old skin and stepping into this new, like, energetic form, it takes such an ability to be comfortable with not knowing, which is probably the most vulnerable a human can be. We have thought processes that we basically, when we're in 5D, we basically try and control everything in our mental center so that we know what life's going to give to us, right? And what this line of energy is saying is you are transforming. You are not going to know the next step. And you have to be vulnerable. You have to be open. You have to be this clear, open channel that just trusts from your heart without having to know all the answers. And that is such a scary place to be as a human. And so here, I would say just start to call on Archangel Chamuel and ask for that guidance, that clarity, that connection, or the strength. You know, it takes strength to be vulnerable. And so strength to be vulnerable. So thank God we got one. Well, we got two, really. Transformation. Huge stuff coming. So thanks for playing. If you want to, there's a Chakra Deck app, and it's completely free. It's called Chakra Deck in the App Store, Android, and it will do a 1-card reading for you, and just take a good clearing breath like we did in the beginning and ask a question. Be very present. Pick one of the 3 readings, and it is so beautifully aligned all the time. So do that, or you can go to the website, which is chakrasroot2crown.com, and you can find lots of meditations to help you get into kind of that heart space awareness, or just lots of different spiritual articles and interesting things there. So so much fun always. Also, subscribe to Solutionary TV. We're going to be doing lots of they're a YouTube channel. We're going to be doing lots of ascension programs coming up. So thank you all. Enjoy and have a beautiful weekend.